Everybody, back at it again, folks. We're coming to the end of the road on these rankings lists. I know you guys have been dialed in, tuned in every day, patiently waiting for my expertise. Doing the corners, a fun position, fun group this year. So we're going to do a top 20. Show the corners some love because a lot of corners get picked. Corners are always in need. We're gonna start with the honorable mentions. Kalen King at Penn State. I'm still a believer. A lot of people have given up on him. I think he had so good of a 2022 that this I still think he could be a very good man-to-man corner. Same thing with Cam Hart at Notre Dame. Didn't get. He was very hyped up early in the year. Just like Kalen, his stock has went down. I still think they could be productive press corners if you need be. Josh Newton out of TCU, just an overall athlete. I think he could play inside or out if need be. Elijah Jones is moving up people's boards. He's one of those sleeper guys. I think he has some good upside to him. Same thing with Jarvis Brownlee Jr. Both similar type of players to me. Got him there. Some late round guys you can develop. Then we got 15 to 11 now. Same thing with DJ James out of Auburn, a versatile guy I think can play inside and out. Good instincts. Kalen Carson. I think a more higher upside Brownlee and Jones. I think he's just more experienced at that position, being one of the better players for Wake Forest now. And then we got Max Melton, Rutgers, obviously brother of Bo, receiver for the Packers. Very tough, instinctive player who, again, I think has versatility inside and out. Smart guy. Kyrie Jackson, who I like a lot. Probably could have snuck him in my top 10. Just well-rounded athlete. I think he can do a lot of things. And then 11, I got Andrew Phillips. A lot of people love him. He has great speed, got athleticism. I think he needs to be developed more personally to be this high-end guy that everyone's talking about. But I see the talent to some extent. Now we got the top 10. 10 through 6 is probably more slot guys, I think they're going to be. So we got Mike Sainristil out of Michigan, 3rd or 4th round pick. Sure, size freaks, don't forget. These guys are a little smaller compared to the people we've been talking about, but you guys are still going to want those. 3rd or 4th round pick, I think, is a good range for converted receiver. If you guys know, most of you should. But plays with very good aggressiveness for the position, for a guy who switched over, comes downhill, run defense, very good. Instinctive ball skills, soft hands, playing receiver. He has that advantage, but, lacks the play strength, isn't the best in open field tackling. And then man coverage, he just needs to be more skilled with, which way the hips point, move, how much leverage he's going to give the receiver. But I think he could be a Mike Hilton type player, one of the better slots, for a while now, for top 10 to 5 slot guy year to year. Tough, hardworking guy, instinctive, picks up well. How he gets that information, we don't know. We may or may not know how much info they get. But all joking aside, I think he's a very talented all-around athlete that can produce for you. Okay, get that bullshit out of here. TJ Tampa now at my number 9. I lied. I guess he's definitely more of an outside corner compared to the other guys. Long, tall, rangy guy, very good press, will get up in you. Good speed, able to catch back with the receiver. A little stiff though on the hips. Isn't the most fluid guy with change of direction routes. Can improve his tackling, but you got a guy like Tyreek Stevenson, very good, well-rounded athlete that still needs some development. I think TJ is along in the same boat there with him. So I saw that comp. I liked it a lot. Number eight's one of my guys, Renardo Green out of Florida State. I got him as a third or fourth round pick. Um, I don't see much hype on him from the people who aren't doing deep dives, so I don't think he'll be ranked very highly. Very good press corner, good physicality, will get up in you. Aggressive, maybe too aggressive, Can get some penalties, get enough speed, lacks the ball skills. I don't think he's going to get many picks, but I think he'll move into inside, be a slot guy, could even play safety. There's some versatility there. That's why we got a Kirby Joseph comp out of Illinois. He did a lot of, he was all over the field for him. I think he's a very rangy guy that can do the same thing for a team. But yeah, I'd probably be more comfortable him as a slot guy. Same thing with Kamari Lassiter out of Georgia, second round pick. He's just from that Georgia regime that the teams respect in the NFL. Very good versatility, though. I do think he could play outside to some extent. He has good fluidity to him, nice changing of the hips, changing of directions. Just lacks the elite speed on the deep routes. Can he stay with receivers consistently on the outside? We don't know. Little grabby, has some penalty history, but think of a guy like Byron Murphy, who I always liked since Washington, the Cardinals days, now with the Vikings. Pretty good athlete. Just a solid 2 to 3 corner that I feel like Kamari can be on a team. Number 6, we got Ennis Rakestraw Jr. out of Missouri. I think he could be one of the better slot guys in the league and in this draft class. Second round pick. He did play outside though, but I feel like with his size, they're going to put him inside. Very good instincts though. Solid man coverage, can stick onto receivers. Again though, just with the deep routes, chasing a receiver downfield isn't the best at that. Can improve his tackling. But I got a Roger McCreary comp who I was high on in Auburn. He was in my top 5, I don't believe, a couple years ago, but definitely 6 to 7 if I remember correctly. He's a pretty solid slot corner for the Titans. I think Ennis can do the same thing wherever he goes. Number 5 now. These are the first round guys. And you'll see the top 5 it's going to be different for just about everybody. And any one of these guys can be in any position, and I wouldn't be mad. If you had Nate Wiggins at 1 or anyone else, I'm not upset by the order. These guys are very close. If I was doing my tiers this year, they'd all be at the top tier. But yeah, Nate Wiggins probably has maybe the most game speed in this draft in the corner class. Very, very instinctive, very aware of what's happening. Isn't the best tackler, but he's a willing tackler. He'll go downhill. He'll assess that it's a run play. Isn't the strongest guy, but I mean, I don't know why you'd want him block shedding. The comp is Caleb Farley, a great athlete. I was very high on him, but there is injury histories, and people are going to be scared by his weight. I hope it won't hinder him. I don't think it will. I have no problem betting on guys and being wrong because I just see the talent there. But maybe subconsciously that's why I don't have him higher than other guys on my rankings, because I just feel like they're going to be more consistent out there. But I like Nate a lot. Like I say, I can't stress enough how close all these guys are to me. It's just what I'm feeling, what I'm wanting. And I got Terrion Arnold here at 4 from Alabama. Another first-round pick. Great ball skills, has a lot of picks. Good change of direction, good lateral agility. Can move all around the field. Again, a little grabby. And sometimes he lets the receiver separate a little too much. You'd want him to be more We're glued onto him. That's why he's grabby. You want to be stride for stride. The elite speed downfield is also kind of a concern you hear about. Can he consistently stick with receivers on the deeper routes? Got a J.C. Jackson comp. This is his first stint in New England. When he was getting like 8 picks a year and staying healthy. I don't think Arnold has an injury history to that extent. Definitely not. But again, another guy. If you had at 1, I wouldn't mind. Number 3, we got my boy Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. First round guy. Very good versatility. You guys should know by now he can play outside, he can play inside, he can play safety. A lot of people just automatically have switched him to safety, but I legit feel like he can be a outside corner. Great athleticism, good speed, good power. Probably the strongest guy in this class. Best tackler too. Not really close there. A little stiff though. He's not as fluid in the hips and the redirectioning on comeback routes and deep ins and outs like that. But player comp for me, if he stayed at corner, I think he could be an Emmanuel Mosley guy. Very good zone corner. We don't know how consistently he could play man, but I think he'd be best suited in a zone scheme on the outside. And even there in slot, if you put him there in slot and zone, he'll cover up that field. But if he switches to safety, I mean Harrison Smith, I think in his prime he can be one of the best safeties in the league. I think he has that talent there at safety. So I'd love him at safety, but it's not like I don't think he can play corner either. So just wherever you want him, whatever your defense needs him, I think he can fit in any scheme, any system. Like him a lot. His versatility alone, I wanted to put him at 1. But 2, I got Quinyon Mitchell. He's risen up boards. Obviously, he's a lot of people's number 1s. The more I see him, the more I like him. Great ball skills, good tracking. Again, elite speed, athleticism, good enough strength to him at the position. Just needs to clean up more on technique. Learning how to play the position just more. I don't think that it's like he's lacking stuff. He didn't really play much press, whether that's probably Toledo not letting him do that, because I know in the Senior Bowl week he played that, but still lacks some technique just with hand placement probably and mirroring consistently. But just raw talent, I think he might have the highest ceiling. And I think of a guy like my man Marshawn Lattimore, in his, when he's at his best and not hurt, he's the top 10 corner. I think Quinyon has that level of potential to him. So I got him there. But number 1, just my guy since coming into this year, he was the consensus number 1 last year. Me personally, I don't think anyone did enough to beat him out. It's kind of like how I had Jackson Smith and Jigba number 1 last year, but Kool-Aid actually played this year. So just elite technique, IQ, fluidity of the game, just knows how to play. When he's on, he's on. I know there's some concerns about he's a little lazy sometimes and he'll give up on some plays, but his targets were like cut in half. They just didn't throw him the ball. That's why Tyrion Arnold got a lot of reps and is getting a lot of hype. It's because Kool-Aid was locking down that whole side. He had one bad game against A.D. Mitchell, but you guys know I'm high on A.D. Mitchell, so having a bad game against a great receiver, every corner's had it. So don't see problems there. Just very good press man corner. Good enough willing tackler. Yeah. Lacks the elite speed again. Isn't the best athlete you're going to hear over and over, and is coming off of a Lance Frank surgery by the time draft starts and the offseason starts, but I think he can get healed up from that. Other nitpicks, he face guards, which I don't really like from corners, but I feel like he can get coached up. Just turn your head. He'll get more interceptions if he did. But My comp is Jalen Johnson, who's one of the better press man coverage corners nowadays. Got this big extension finally from Chicago. I think he can be just one of those solid, very good to great corners. I think he has a high floor, but I think his ceiling is higher than what people think. So yeah, that's my corners, guys. We got one more position, safeties tomorrow, and we'll unfortunately be done with this journey. But this has been your boy King Caleb here, signing the fuck out.